Imagine the profound grief of rock legend Eric Clapton as he grapples with the passing of his longtime friend and collaborator, Robbie Robertson, in 2023. The guitarist found solace in revisiting the timeless tunes of the band and their unforgettable final show, captured in Martin Scorsese's 1978 documentary masterpiece, The Last Waltz. But here's where it gets deeply personal. Clapton gathered his family to watch it anew, rediscovering the magic. In the film, he delivers a blistering rendition of Bobby Blue Bland's 1957 shuffle hit, Further On Up the Road, alongside the band. "I hadn't watched it for a long time," Clapton admitted, his voice tinged with nostalgia. What most people miss is how this reunion sparked a flood of memories about a friendship that spanned decades. Flashback to 1969, when a young Clapton journeyed to Woodstock with dreams of joining the band, yet hesitated to make the ask. Despite that missed moment, their bond endured through countless musical adventures. From the mid-1970s onward, they teamed up repeatedly, right up to Robertson's 2011 solo album, How to Become a Clairvoyant, and kept performing together in the years that followed. This collaboration wasn't just casual jam sessions, it led to meaningful contributions, like all 5 band members appearing on Clapton's 1976 solo effort, No Reason to Cry. There, they co-wrote All Our Pastimes with Rick Danko, a track that echoes their shared history. And this is the part that might surprise you. Years later, in 1994, Clapton honored the band by inducting them into the Rock Roll Hall of Fame, a gesture that cemented their intertwined legacies. Clapton has always sung Robertson's praises, calling him an underrated genius. "People underestimate what he does," Clapton said. "They want to try doing it. The intros to songs, the little things that sound like they're scrappy and off the cuff, which is part of his unique attractiveness to me. He sounds like he's only just now working out that this will work." For beginners in music appreciation, Robertson's style often feels improvisational and raw, like he's composing on the spot. But Clapton insists it's meticulously crafted. "I'm sure it's a lot more crafted out than that. I know him well enough to know he was really precise about what he did. It's so difficult to recreate that kind of on the edge of expression," Clapton added. This blend of spontaneity and precision is what made their joint work so electrifying. Fortunately, their decades-long friendship yielded several standout collaborations, including 3 songs they co-wrote together. Let's dive into these gems, each telling a story of emotion and experience. And here's where it gets controversial. Some fans debate whether Clapton's induction of the band was purely heartfelt or influenced by industry politics. What do you think? Was it a genuine tribute or a nod to fame's fickle nature? Share your thoughts in the comments. First up is It's in the Way That You Use It from 1986. Written by Robbie Robertson and Eric Clapton, this track emerged during Robertson's debut solo album, which brought together old bandmates like Rick Danko and Garth Hudson, plus stars like Peter Gabriel, U2, and others. At the same time, Robertson was crafting the score for Martin Scorsese's The Color of Money, starring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise, a film about a pool hustler chasing redemption. Robertson didn't stop there. He contributed to the soundtrack alongside B.B. King, Robert Palmer, Willie Dixon, Don Henley, Warren Zevon, and Mark Knopfler, recording tracks like Modern Blues and the main title. Among them was this co-write with Clapton, which later appeared on Clapton's 1986 album August, produced largely by Phil Collins. The song paints a poignant picture of money's transient nature, how it flows in and out of our lives, much like relationships or opportunities. For those new to Clapton's work, think of it as a bluesy reflection on handling life's fleeting gifts wisely. The lyrics drive home the message. It's in the way that you use it. It comes and it goes. It's in the way that you use it. Boy, don't you know. They warn against abuse, as deceit leads to loss, and emphasize balance. Nobody's right until somebody's wrong. Nobody's weak until somebody's strong. It's a subtle nod to the highs and lows of fame, reminding us that luck and loneliness are intertwined. Then there's Fear of Falling from 2011, another Robertson-Clapton collaboration that graces How to Become a Clairvoyant. By 2008, Robertson was assembling this 5th solo album, packed with guest stars like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine and Trent Reznor. He and Clapton spent time brainstorming about life, and those conversations planted the seeds for the record. Robertson recalled, "I went over to London because Eric Clapton had asked if we could do some recording over there." The beginning of this record really started with Eric and I just messing around with some ideas. We didn't really have anything that specific in mind, except that we're old friends and we've been talking about doing something for a while. On the album, Robertson penned his own songs, but Clapton contributed too, including the instrumental Madam X and two co-writes. Fear of Falling, featuring Steve Winwood on organ, draws from Clapton's personal hesitations about diving into love. Fear of Falling really comes from Eric, Robertson explained. It comes from a life experience that he was telling me about, that I in turn was then singing back to him. It comes from when we first started working on music together, and we would sit down with just two guitars and start playing around. He added, "We traded off the ideas until we felt like we've really got something together here," notes Robertson. So it was a real trade-off in all aspects of the song, in the vocals, the playing, and the storytelling, everything. The lyrics explore vulnerability and self-doubt, like pondering life's origins. I wonder where it all began. Was it in a place or in the heart? It touches on judgment and cost. If I end up begging like a dog, does it make me any less than you? And echoes Clapton's journey through loss and clarity. For music novices, this track is a heartfelt ballad that shows how songwriting can stem from deep conversations, turning personal fears into universal anthems. Finally, Won't Be Back from 2011 rounds out their co-written trio on how to become a clairvoyant. Clapton handled guitar and backing vocals on several album tracks, including this one, which Robertson co-authored with him. The song laments a love that's irrevocably ended, evoking the pain of unanswered letters and silent nights. "The letter that I sent to you, was it lost in the mail? Then tell me why there's no reply," the lyrics mourn, leading to the haunting refrain, "But you've gone, like the wind, and I know that you won't be back again." These songs not only showcase Clapton and Robertson's creative synergy, but also invite debate. Do collaborations like these elevate music, or do they blur individual genius in the name of friendship? And this is the part most people overlook. In an era of solo stardom, their joint efforts remind us that true innovation often comes from shared stories. What are your favorite Clapton-Robertson moments? Do you agree that Robertson's off-the-cuff style is genius, or just lucky? Disagree with Clapton's Hall of Fame choice? Jump into the comments and let's discuss.